What is a man but a miserable pile of secrets? Welcome back to the second episode of The Rosebud. Let's just hop right into it, folks. Growing up Caribbean has exposed me to some things that your average American may not have been exposed to. From music to dances, different aspects of culture, and the topic of today's episode, language. Firstly, I'll say, if you don't know this about me, I am Antiguan American, yes, born in the United States, but Antiguan nonetheless. So, give you a little history on Antigua, formerly known as the nation of Antigua and Barbuda. Gonna do a little bit of reading here. Explored by Christopher Columbus in 1493 and named for the Church of Santa Maria la Antigua. Antigua was colonized by the British in 1632 and is currently inhabited by predominantly black people. So needless to say, their native tongue, or our native tongue rather, is English. When you hear an Antiguan talk, you may not think so, but for the more cultured of individuals, it is the Queen's English, or the Queen, whatever they want to call it. So I gave that very vague and brief history on Antigua and Barbuda to wrap back around to my previous quote on being a miserable pile of secrets to say this. Growing up for a majority of my younger life, my mother and I, by association, used to call dish soap or dishwashing soap dishes liquid. You animal. And this is very much so due to our parents being our first teachers and my mother having a heavy Antiguan accent. So she would call it that and I would call it that. So I just thought it made sense. And I still do think it makes sense. Hear me out. Do not get the firing squad ready just yet. All right, come along, continue along this journey with me. When you go to clean your plates, right? Some people typically may say, I'm gonna go wash the dishes. Okay, so when you go to wash the dishes, the soap that you use comes in liquid form. Ergo, the natural conclusion to land on for an impressionable mind to think is also, the correct way to say thing by society standards even, is to call this substance dishes liquid. It's liquid for your dishes. Just makes sense. Hold your applause. Continue with me. For a very large portion of my life, I was not going around, but within, my family and adjacent circles, I would call it dishes liquid. And nobody would second guess it. It made sense to me because nobody ever said anything until I went out into the world amongst you uncultured Americans. I don't know, it was a random conversation, right? And then I'd said very similar things to what I'm saying now in this episode about being Antiguan and the way how we say things. And I said, I called the product dishes liquid. And I got laughed out of the room, y'all. People were like, what the fuck is that? Dishes liquid? It's dishwashing soap. It's dish soap. And this hill, live and die on this hill. I battled them to the death on its legitimacy. And even though I did get laughed out the room, I stood 10 toes down on the legitimacy of that word entitling for that product, right? And it's moments like that have made me into the man that I am today. Okay, standing up for what's right. Now here's a word from our sponsor being me.
Rosebud. Hot episode.
Welcome back, folks, from that little breaky break. Interesting episode. Like I said, these aren't going to be that long, so I'm just going to wrap this up here and say this. It's very illuminating to know that we live on such a diverse planet. Something simple as words, language, phrases, and just little quirks that we have about ourselves, little dynamics that we build up with our families and with our different communities. I know that this is a very interesting way to approach the topic of diversity in the United States and culture and just like, upbringing from different perspectives, but it's what dropped on my spirit to do. So here we are at the end of the episode yet again. Before I forget, these things will be streaming on Spotify. I'm going to try to put it on, what's that other platform? The Apple, jeez. I'm recording this kind of early in the morning, folks. Apple Podcasts, as well as something else that I cannot remember. Obviously, YouTube. Oh, I finally started a TikTok that I'm going to be posting these things on too, little clips. And yeah, it's the second episode. My road to consistency continues. And that's it for now. Peace.